Hi everybody. Here's the situation. Your boss has come to you with an assignment. She wants you to take this list on the left, which appears in the format of last name, comma, first name, and she wants you to put it in the format that appears in the column on the right, which is first name space last name. Now, this needs to be done for about 10,000 users. So the question is, how are you going to do that? Well, the good news is that Excel has string functions that can help us do that. So let's have a look at those functions. The functions that we're going to look at are the find function, the length function, the right function, the left function, and we're also going to look at a function called the concatenate function. So the first function we're going to look at is the find function, and what we're going to do is we're going to find the comma in cell A6 over here. This name is Dinsdale Heath, and it's in the format of last name, comma, first name, and we're going to find that comma because that's important in what we want to do. So we're going to use an Excel function called the find function, and we start our functions off with equal sign. We type in the word find, open bracket, and we're going to tell it first of all what we're looking for. So we put in a quotation, the comma, because that's what we're looking for is the comma. We delimit it with another quotation, then we put another comma, and we tell it that we're going to look for that comma in A6. So we're essentially saying, tell us where in A6 the comma occurs. Okay? And it says 6. So if we look over here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where it occurs. And so that's going to help us in the next step of what we want to do. The next function that we want to look at is the length function, and it is also very important in the calculation of what we want to do. So we're going to go to cell C6 and we're going to use the length function. And again, we start it with the equal sign. In this case, the length function is just len, and then open bracket. And we're going to do on the same cell A6. In this case, it's very simple. You just simply type in the cell. So this is going to tell us the length of the string in cell A6. It's 15. Again, also important in the calculation of what we want to do. For the next step in this, we're going to go to cell D6, where we're going to use the right function to give us the first name of the person in cell A6. So we're going to use the right function, then we put in the cell reference, and then in this case we're going to put in the number 8 because we know that there are 8 characters in the first name Dinsdale. Okay? Now, what if we don't know how many characters we want and we still need to calculate the number of rightmost characters that we want? We're going to use our friends over here in cell B6 and C6 to help us with that. So we're going to put in the formula again, the right function, open bracket, A6 for our cell reference, and we're going to open a bracket because we're going to do some math here. So we're going to say C6 minus B6. Okay, so that's 15 minus 6, which is 9. And if we use 9 characters, we're going to get the space. So we're going to put an additional minus 1 at the end of the formula so we get back to 8. Okay? And that's Dinsdale. And that's how we get our first name, Dinsdale. Now what we're going to do is go to cell E6 and use the left function to give us the first name of the person in cell A6. So the function that we're going to use is the left function, and it's going to look like this. It's going to be left, and then again we're going to use the cell reference of A6, and this time the number of characters we're going to give it is the number that's in cell B6, and that is the number that we calculated using the find function. And then we're just going to subtract 1 from that, and we're going to close the bracket, and that gives us the name Heath. Okay, finally, what we're going to do is we're going to put it all together, and we're going to go to this cell here, F6, and we're going to combine the first and last name from the formulas that we've already created. Now we can go crazy here and create a really long formula that involves both the formulas that we put in D6 and E6, but for the sake of simplicity, we're going to just concatenate these two cells together, okay? So we're going to put the equal sign, and we're going to say D6, and then we're going to use a concatenation symbol, a quotation, and a space, another quotation, the concatenation symbol on the other side, and we're going to say E6, and we're going to combine, and there we have it. So that name that was previously Heath, Dinsdale is now Dinsdale Heath. Now let's do one last thing. Let's copy all of the formulas that we created for all of the names in column A. So we'll just click and drag that down. And that gives us the find function that helped us find where the comma was in all of the text in column A. We'll copy the length function down, which gave us the length of the strings in column A. We'll use the right function that gave us the first names of the text. And then we'll use the left function. We'll copy that down, which gives us the last name. And finally, we'll copy that concatenation formula down, which tells us the first and last name of the individuals. So now, the assignment that your boss gave you to take this data, which appeared in column A in the format of last name, comma, first name, we have now put it in column F in the format of first name, space, last name. And that's how you do it. Ciao.